Hello everyone. Let me start the session by wishing you a very happy new year. We are going to be looking at 2023 predictions for Meena Rashi or Pisces. The way I have presented the predictions is by displaying the 12 houses or 12 zodiac signs or 12 Rashis that are there in astrology, and also the significations for each of the 12 houses. The reason I have given like this is just by looking at the screen, you will be able to understand the area of your life that are going to be in focus in 2023 beyond what I'm going to be speaking while presenting the 2023 predictions. For arriving at the predictions, I have considered three aspects or three factors. First is the Saturn transit, second is the Jupiter transit, and third is the Rahu Ketu transit. For those of you who are not familiar with the Indian astrology, Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets that are given a lot of importance in Indian astrology. We don't consider outer planets like Pluto. At the same time, for yearly predictions, I don't consider Moon, Sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury because these planets change positions fairly fast. What I'm trying to say is the opportunity for planets like Mars, Mercury to create a bigger and lasting impact is relatively lower compared to planets like Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu Ketu because these planets spend a longer duration. Saturn spends 2.5 years, Jupiter spends 1 year, and Rahu Ketu spends approximately 1.5 years in a particular Rashi or house. Okay. Now, coming to the 2023 predictions, the first transit of interest is Saturn transit. Saturn moves from 11th house to 12th house, and this transit is happening on 17th January 2023. The arrival of Saturn in 12th house is also the beginning of what is known as 7.5 year cycle, 7.5 Saturn or Sade Sati, right? This is normally perceived to be a challenging period. However, the starting phase of the 7.5 cycle is not all that stressful. I want to emphasize that. So the bottom line is, unlike what you may be fearing, it is not all that depressing when Saturn comes into the 12th house because 12th house is the house of losses and it's also the house of bed, sleep, enlightenment, and such uh, hard matters, right? So many people fear the start of Sade Sati itself, and the arrival of Saturn is something many people fear. However, I want to dispel those fears because I have observed many horoscopes. Okay, so whatever I am stating comes from experience. It is not bookish knowledge. You're going to spend a lot when Saturn is in the 12th house. That's going to be the key aspect. Expenses increasing is a key trait that you're going to see in 2023. Whether those expenses are for good causes like marriage, childbirth, and stuff like that, or is it for not so good reasons, depends entirely on your horoscope. That is something you need to be very, very careful. So, expenses are going to increase, right? For those who do not have access to money, you will somehow get money. How am I saying that? If your expenses has to increase, you must have money, right? So even if you don't have money, some or the other you will get money so that you can spend. That is another aspect of 12th house Saturn. Please keep that in your mind, which is why I said expenses will increase compared to 11th house Saturn. In 11th house Saturn, you would have definitely expected or definitely seen some gains. Even if it is not gains, you would have been able to save a little much. Even if you say that I have not saved anything, let me give you a scenario because there is a lot of confusion or unreasonable expectation for gains. Okay, let's say you're going to buy grocery or going to buy, let's say a TV in a shop, right? You bargain with the person who is selling the TV. Okay. If let's say you get a better bargain, is it not a gain for you? Is it not a savings for you? Let's say the TV costs 50,000. In normal times, you might get 3,000 rupees of discount. Okay. When Saturn was in the 11th house, the shopkeeper would have given you at least 2,000 rupees more. So instead of 3,000 discount, you would have got 5,000 discount. I'm sure you will have many such examples to recount, right? In my opinion, such instances are also examples of kings, right? If your natal horoscope supports, you might have had significant gains, right? So expenses increasing contrary to expenses under control in 11th house is going to be the main theme of the 12th house. Watch out your health as well, right? That is also something that you need to take care. Your digestion may come down. So what are the precautions you can take? Take up some exercise. Okay. Walk if possible regularly. Take up some sports. Ensure that your body is physically fit, right? To the extent possible. All these things will help you to manage the 12th house Saturn. Many of you may also change your jobs, change your profession. Some of you may even start new businesses, right? The existing one may stop and you may start something new. All these things are elements of the 12th house Saturn. So I want to emphasize this. Don't fear Sadesati. The first part is not something to be feared of, right? You will get good opportunities also during Sadesati. Okay. Keep that in your mind. Okay. I'm not here to give you motivation speech, and this is the truth, right? Some of you may experience expenses due to not so good reasons. As I said, that depends entirely on your horoscope. Okay. Whether it is good expense or bad expenses. Or what I mean by that is expenses for good reasons or bad reasons. That depends entirely on your horoscope. Right? So keep that in your mind. The next transit that I want to cover is the Jupiter's transit. In fact, this is an important transit and a highly positive one for Meena Rashi or Pisces people. Why am I saying that? Jupiter is your Rashi Lord, right? Jupiter owns, your Rashi. Jupiter coming to second house is considered extremely good. It is also known as Guru Bala. That is, the opportunity for a lot of good things to manifest is very high when Jupiter is in second, 5, 7, 9, and 11th houses. So Jupiter coming to second house is good. Normally Jupiter in first house is not good. So even though he is your Rashi Lord, Jupiter in first house would have caused a lot of problems to you. Your relationship with your spouse, children, everything would have been good, and even your father. But Jupiter in first house causes a lot of troubles to you. Okay. Your confidence might have taken a hit. You might have even faced some health issues. That is due to Jupiter in the first house. So come April, Jupiter moving to second house will see a lot of confidence in you. Okay. You will feel more positive and your health will improve, no doubt. Wealth will also improve. Okay. There will be money flow subject to whatever that is destined for you as per your horoscope, right? Jupiter coming to 12th house, sorry, Saturn coming to 12th house and Jupiter coming to second house will ensure there is adequate money flow. Make the most of it and save. Okay, that is one big remedy you can pursue, but it is not going to be easy, right? Try to save. As I said, it's not going to be easy. So Jupiter from second house will be seeing the eighth house, which is good. And Jupiter will also see the sixth house. And Jupiter will also see the 10th house, right? So your profession can improve. Okay. Suddenly some positive things can happen because Jupiter is a benefic planet. At the same time, enemies, death, and fight could also see an increase. However, Saturn from here is also seeing, no, from here, Saturn is seeing. Because of this, the enemies, death, and fights will be under control also. That is, both restriction and expansion of enemies, dead and fights will happen. So things will balance out and things will be under control. So how is 2023 looking? It is looking lot good, I will say, especially the first half. And the first half till September is looking extremely positive, barring the month of April and June. Sorry, April and June. Yes, April and June. Right? Why am I saying that? Your Rashi and Jupiter is going to be very close to Rahu during the month of April and June. Okay. So it's a kind of, so barring April, June, the first half until September is looking good. Sir, why are you saying until September? What will happen after October? That is the question in your mind, right? So the Rahu Ketu transit is not looking great. I want to be upfront about it. Okay. Why am I saying that? Rahu is coming to the first house and Ketu is coming to the seventh house. Seventh house is the your spouse, partnership, and everything. Ketu is a spiritual planet. It will give loneliness, aloofness, frustration. Why do you want a spiritual planet in the house of your spouse and partnerships? Right? Ketu is the antithesis to all that we want in this material life. Right? If you want to do penance, if you want to do meditation, if you want to go and sit, in mountains like Himalayas, Ketu is the wonderful planet to have. But all of us, almost all, right? All of us are in a highly materialistic life. We want money, we want power, we want fame, we want recognition, we want growth. Ketu cannot give you all that. Please understand. Ketu is a spiritual planet, right? Ketu is for detachment, right? If the planet of detachment is there in the house of spouse, you can understand, right? What I'm trying to talk. So issues with your spouse, partner will increase. You need to manage that, right? Now, Rahu coming to first house, Rahu is a shadow planet and Rahu is a planet of illusion, right? Illusion and mind, they do not go together. Some of you may experience unknown fears, phobias. Your general anxiety level may increase, fear factor may increase. You will feel a lot duller, okay? You may even feel sad. You will unnecessarily worry. All these things are results of first house Rahu, okay? Which is why I said until September, I will divide this into September and October to December as far as 2023 is concerned. The period until 2023, Jan to September, this is looking good, right? Almost 75% good can happen. Now, October to December is challenging. It is 50-50 for me, right? Why am I saying 50-50 is because of Rahu and Ketu. In 2023, the problem for you is going to come only in the later half of the year, right? October to December and in 2024 also. Okay. The issue is more of mind and the issue with your partner. That is going to be the key issues you need to watch out for. Money flow will be more than decent. Your expenses will increase. Health will be, touch and go, but nothing, untoward, or nothing serious will happen, right? Things will be very much under control. You will be able to manage, right? Because Jupiter is coming to a good position. That is your Rashi Lord, right? But this Ketu coming to seventh and Rahu coming to first is the cause for concern, right? So how you can manage this situation, right? Be prepared for a difference of opinion with your spouse. Enjoy the differences, accept the differences. That in itself can give you a lot of, leaving, right? Marriage itself is a celebration of differences, right? It's a union of differences. So accept that there are bound to be differences in a relationship. Not necessarily marital, it could be even business partnership. Embrace the differences. It's okay to have differences. Accept the differences. For Rahu coming to the first house, do meditation. Meditation is one of the finest remedy to handle first house Rahu. Do breathing exercise, right? Why am I saying that? If you can keep your mind calm and serene, Rahu will not be able to impact you that much, right? If you are a type A personality who gets worried, even for small things, who wants uh, everything to be perfect in your world, who is a control freak, then Rahu will impact you more. First house Rahu will impact you more. Type B personalities, who are unaffected by the surroundings, right? They can manage the first house Rahu a lot better. So if you are a type A personality, right, meditation is a must, right? What is type A? I just explained, right? People who get agitated even for the smallest mistakes, who want to control the outcome, who want to control the environment, who want everything to be perfect, right? Who want to be in control of the situation. They are type A, no? Type B people are aloof people. They can manage first house Rahu better than type A. So ask yourself whether you are a type A or a type B. I'm sure you know the answer, right? So if you are a natural worrier, right, that is, you worry for things unnecessarily, Rahu will impact, which is why I'm suggesting meditation, right? Saturn is not the planet to worry as far as 2023 is concerned. I'm stating this in very, very clear terms. It is Rahu Ketu. Okay. Meditation is the finest remedy you can pursue and it will give you handsome results. Okay. So, what we have seen so far is a fairly generic prediction. What I'm now coming to is what if there are planets already in your 12th house, right? That's what we are going to see now. What I mean by planets already being in the 12th house, I'm essentially referring to your natal chart. If there are planets already in your 12th house, right? The transit Saturn that is coming from 11th, this is transit Saturn, right? Transit Saturn will interact or combine, join with planets already in 12th house, that is natal planets, that is planets that is there in your individual horoscope, that is planets that were there in your 12th house at the time of your birth. That is what we call as natal planets, right? So the natal planets will interact with transit Saturn to give you some specific results. What are those specific results? That's what we are going to see now. Okay. I have taken only Saturn because Saturn spends longer time. So the opportunity for Saturn to create a bigger and deeper impact is much higher compared to all other planets. Right? So we will start with Jupiter. If Jupiter or Venus is already there, okay, the transit Saturn will interact with this and give you significant material gain. Please note that Jupiter and Venus are very strong. Okay. People with Jupiter or Venus in 12th house, they are more likely to be in foreign lands actually, right? Because 12th house becomes highly benefic. You can have Jupiter and Venus in 12th house. It's not bad. Many people think it is bad, right? Jupiter is very close to its own house and it's Digbala, right? Jupiter in first house is Digbala, no? That is directional strength. Planets in Digbala give its characteristics a lot, okay, compared to all other planets. So Jupiter closer to Digbala and Venus gets exalted here, right? In 12th in Pisces, Venus gets exalted. So planets closer to Digbala and planets closer to points of exaltation are very, very powerful. Please understand, this is already powerful. On top of that, a powerful Saturn. Why am I saying powerful Saturn? Because this is his Mool Trikona house, right? This is his own house, Mool Trikona house, right? So Saturn will combine with Jupiter and Venus will give significant material gain. It is as if the roof of your house will open and the goddess of prosperity or the angel of prosperity will shower you with material wealth, will shower you with gold coins. This is only a metaphor. Okay? That much wealth you can actually expect. I have seen such horoscopes. Okay, that is why I'm saying with so much confidence. right? It is extremely, extremely positive transit. Now, I said Rahu Ketu mind, maybe, they may feel anxious, they may feel unnecessarily, fear and worry and all. Yeah, people will have significant material gain, and along with that, they will also have worry. Worry is a common thing in today's world. You can worry about anything. You can worry about your dress. You can worry about, your kids. You can worry about, your health. You can worry about your spouse. Worry about your parents. Worry about your job. You can worry about anything, no? At the same time, significant material gain will be there. That's how things will play out. Because, as I said, all the planets are giving results to us, right? But the impact of Rahu Ketu will be lot less because, when you get so much of material gain, the positivity factor will be higher, no? You will tend to overlook the worry factor, you will tend to overlook the anxiety factor, you may tend to even overlook the problems with your spouse because so much money is coming, right? That's how things will play out, right? The second one is Mercury. If Mercury is there, natal Mercury will interact with transit Saturn and give you opportunities to start new venture, right? New export import business, new agency business. All those opportunities are there. Mercury is also planet of speech, communication. Watch out your speech. That can give you a lot of trouble. Not only what you speak, but also digital communication. What you communicate in WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, right? All those things could also become problematic. Be very careful, right? You may have plans of sending a message to person A, but you may accidentally send to person B. Whether that's going to cause, no problem at all, or it's going to cause a big problem, depends on your horoscope, right? What if Saturn is already there, right? This is natal Saturn, and it interacts with, this is natal Saturn, interacts with transit Saturn, right? It's like Saturn returns, no? You can expect change, a significant change. Could be job change, could be retirement, could be marriage, depends on your horoscope, right? Again, could be a good change, could be a bad change. Again, depends on your horoscope. The changeover process is going to be very difficult. What do you mean by changeover process? See, once upon a time, the butterfly was an insect, no? So the changeover from insect to butterfly would have been very difficult for this butterfly. Now it's happy, flying all around. But the changeover, right? That would have been extremely difficult. Changeover is you move from one position to another position, status A to status B, place A to place B, right? So change will be there. If your natal Saturn is here, your age is likely to be 30 or 60 or 90 or closer to that. How am I saying that? A planet takes 2.5 years to move, and there are 12 Rashis. No? So 12 into 2.5 is 30. You will either be 30, 60, or 90 years of age or closer to that. Right? What if there are Rahu, Ketu, Mars, and I will add Sun also to that? What if Rahu, Ketu, Mars, and Sun are here in your 12th house? It is not considered good. That is the bottom line. Okay. Because Saturn considers Mars and Sun as its number one enemy. How will you feel if you are with your number one enemies? You will feel angry, agitated, maybe wanting to, say out a few bad words, right? That's how you will feel, no? When you are with your number one enemy. Can you do anything good in those times? Not possible, right? Extremely difficult, right? That's the situation for Saturn, right? For the transit Saturn. These are natal planets. Please note Rahu and Ketu cannot be together, okay? But other planets can be with either Rahu or Ketu. So if Mars is there, you can expect fights, not necessarily physical fights, even verbal fights can. If Ketu is there, it can create some kind of breaks. What kind of breaks? It could be breaks related to profession, right? Breaks related to old people. A break will happen and something new will start out, right? That is the thing with Ketu. Okay. If Rahu is there, see, please note Saturn is a dark planet. Rahu is like Saturn, no? Ketu is like Mars. So if Rahu is there, it is like double darkness or what we call as pitch dark. If you have to work on an important task in a pitch dark situation or pitch dark room, what will happen? You can end up making mistakes. No, that is the kind of situation you could get into. It is like if you have to cook in a pitch dark room, instead of salt, you may put some spices. So the spice level could increase beyond the normal level. If it is a case of one-off food, that is something you can avoid. But what if it is an extremely important work that has far-reaching implications? A mistake can be very costly, right? So that's how Saturn Rahu will create situations. Whether it is going to be extremely bad or things that will create small issues depends entirely on your horoscope, right? The next one is Sun. Sun is also an enemy of Saturn, right? So that is not a good one. Okay, it will create a lot of ego clash with superiors, government entities, and even your father. Okay, father-like figures. At the same time, presence of Sun here can interact with transit Saturn and give rise to job promotions, right? Or let's say government jobs. Those are also possibilities because Sun denotes higher positions, government entities, right? So it creates both ego clash as well as job opportunities. That is the opportunity with Sun. But don't underestimate ego clash. Ego clash is difficult to handle, right? Okay, so that's how things will pan out if there are planets already in your 12th house. So what I covered in the first half of this video is generic predictions, and in the second half I covered some specific predictions pertaining to planets that are already there in your 12th house. If you don't have planets in your 12th house, whatever I covered may not be all that applicable. Best of luck and happy new year once again. Thank you.